Good morning. Here we go. Starting on the walk. I got my selfie stick, so I'm not so close. And, as I start here, I'll say this. Hi, my name's Dave. I had a quote that was like floating in my head, and I think it was by a Stoic called Seneca. And a spider web in my face. That wasn't the quote. So here we go. Let me see if I can mess this up. We have been more hurt by our imagination than we have by reality. It's a little bit more than that, but that's the gist of it. So we suffer more through our imagination than we do in reality, right? So when you think about it, that's true. I used to be afraid of heights. Still kind of am, but I jumped out of airplanes. Now, sorry. That wasn't as scary because the only couple of times I stood in the door, and then when I went skydiving and stood in the door, you're at such a height where it kind of like washes out because you can't really grasp the distance to the ground. But when I went to the pool, a German pool, the Freibad, I believe they still call it, the community pool, and we went to jump off the 30-foot jump. That scared the crap out of me. But then in the reality, you just jump in and stuff. I used to go off the rocks in Newport, jumping into the water, and the first time you try it, you're kind of scared, but then you get used to it, and you're like, oh, this is cool. So it's definitely true in that respect. And also, there's times when we might be afraid to, when we're in our dating years, hey, we're afraid to approach that person. You want to ask that girl out and everything. Nowadays I hear it's really tough. You don't want to be called a creep or a stalker or whatever just for asking somebody out, but I feel for guys today. But their fear, and when they do it, well, no thank you, or yes, that's cool. We feel the change. Our imagination runs and thinks, oh, I won't be able to get out of this job, I won't be able to get a better job, I won't be able to learn this new career or this or that. And the imagination starts running in it. And that hurts us more sometimes in that case. Now, imagination, when used the other way, in abundance, it can be a wonderful thing, because that's when it becomes almost limitless. That's some of the things that even though I've had my imagination and my thoughts and fears hold me back for a long time. Once I accepted the fact that most companies don't want to hire me, and it's, some of you might say, oh well, yes, there's a company out there that would hire you. It might be, but I understand my physical limitations, even with the exercising that I do and the walking that I do, or I should say limited exercising, but with the walking that I do and everything, I will get better, but I still can't stand in a single spot longer than 15 minutes. I can't sit for 15 minutes, longer than 15 minutes, without adjusting my position and stuff, because then it gets too painful with my tailbone being all out of whack and my back. My boobs are shaking from the, no, sorry. Little triggers that reminds me of cadence songs from my army days. Anyway, we'll move on for that. So yeah, as I was thinking about that, but as I was saying before I went on my little rabbit hole there, um, you know, oh, don't forget to like and subscribe. Got that there done. I really enjoy your comments. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. You know, the imagination can be used in abundance to make changes. I imagined myself to be thinner and healthier, and when I look back, when I started, I was 242 pounds. Even at one time, I was like 257. A few months before that, but when I sat down, I was like a little blob of jelly. It was like, my face was a lot rounder, and everything, and it just was. I just didn't like it. So I imagined that, okay, I can see myself getting thinner. I need to do something. And from those thoughts, I ended up taking action. I found out about the carnivore diet and how that's the way we're supposed to be eating. If you are a carnivore or not a carnivore, that's up to you. But I just feel like that's more of a natural way. We've been doing it for hundreds of thousands of years. Our bodies are adapted to that. The American Standard Diet, or Standard American Diet, is SAD, literally for the abbreviation, and what it is, because it's the food we're taking in is just horrible. That's why it cracks me up when when they say, "Oh, your LDL cholesterol levels are way too high as a carnivore. You're going to have a heart attack." Well, if you look at the evidence that's coming out now, no. It's our visceral fat is messing up our metabolic health. Our insulin resistance is messing that up. The glucose, the amount of glucose, sugar that we take in is messing it up. The actual small particles in the fat that are caused mainly from like unsaturated fats like corn oil or canola oil and seed oils, and all this over hyper processed garbage. That's what's causing more. Because if it was with all these statins and all these medications that the doctors have been pushing on us, you would think that the amount of heart attacks and heart events would have dropped, but they're climbing. So I would say, and the fact that we've been dropping in and everything because the powers that be are saying that red meat is bad for you, eggs are bad for you, fat from animals are bad for you. We should be eating a low-fat diet, a non-fat diet. Well, if so, then why are all these stats on heart events and metabolic unhealthiness going up? But anyway, that's a side rant from the main thing that I was talking about, is how sometimes we let things hurt us or influence us that actually have no real power to do so, and we fear the unknown. So I'm just a guy walking and talking here. Do your research if you want to make any changes. You don't have to be a carnivore, you don't have to be anything like that, but if you want to make changes, start with your diet. Find maybe a keto-friendly diet, Mediterranean diet, all these that are low-carb diets. to no carb diets because our body doesn't really need carbs. A lot of people still think, especially in the fitness world, all these gurus are like, you need carbs to bulk up and you need carbs for energy to work off. Well, yes, if your body is only used to burning carbs, it takes a little while to become fat adapted and get used to that. I take in very little carbs, if any, under 25 grams most times. Sometimes if I do a double protein shake, just because of the monk fruit and the cocoa chocolate that's in there, then my carb intake might go up. Scratchy arm. Sorry. Itchy arm, I should say. Anyway, so, do your research on that. Don't fear the unknown. I'm coming from somebody that does this, so I know it can be hard, but work with you. Take little steps. I want to say thanks to all the folks out there that have been commenting. You guys are awesome. I really do appreciate it. I've got to do, this is about the time point when I should be asking you guys to like and subscribe, besides commenting. Thank you for that again. So, yeah, let me see, if you want, down in the comments, was there anything that your imagination or you were afraid of, and then when you actually tried it, you ended up enjoying it and having fun? Put that down in the comments. And let me know how many of you guys are carnivores or on a low-carb diet, keto or Mediterranean or whatever. Okay? Well, I've got a lot of walking to do. Doing a 16-hour fast today, which is good. But I'm also going in for blood work at 10:45. I couldn't get in there earlier. Luckily, I know how to fast. So I'm not going to have anything. I'm not even going to have some coffee. And that's, I miss the coffee, my morning coffee. Even if black, drinking it black. Bleh. Anyway, so I'm in a happy mood, even with the pain. My pain's at about a 4 today, so it's not too bad. So yeah, I'm kind of happy. Beautiful day. Look at this. This is just incredible. Anyway, all right. That's it for today. I'll see you guys. God bless.